There's nothing else we can do here now. We're committed. Here we go. Okay, folks, pull up a chair, make yourself comfortable, because I want to know what the A2A Aerostar 600 is like in VR. So, better late than never. This is my first look, and literally, this is my first experience with this aircraft. I've been so busy this week. I've been really itching to take a spin in this new bird. So what is the A2A Accu-Sim Aerostar 600? Well, surely by now you must know the name A2A, which is the last word when it comes to high quality study level, and that word really does mean that in this case, study level general aviation aircraft. And I think it's fair to say that A2A are pioneers in their field. They were the first to really provide an experience that is true to life in the general aviation sector for MSFS and P3D. And I've been waiting for this aircraft for a very long time. I'm talking even before MSFS 2020. So I'm just showing you some shots here in 2D mode first. But obviously we're going to go into VR in a second. And I can't say enough, guys, how much of a big deal this is that this aircraft has now come to MSFS 2024 only, by the way. It's not available in 2020, at least not at the moment anyway. And this is in early access. That's important to understand, that A2A has graciously, really, and I think it's quite brave of them to do this, they've released this in early access, so it's not quite ready for prime time yet. But I must admit, from what I've seen so far on YouTube, because I know I'm quite late to my preview of this, but what I've seen in 2D mode, you know, the likes of Tute Murphy, really enjoyed that stream the other day, very entertaining. It looks like it's pretty much there, apart from a few niggles and bugs, that hopefully, now that it's in early access, the whole community can get behind this and get it ready for prime time. And I want to know, what is it like in VR? Because at the time of recording, I don't know anyone else who has tested this and shown it in VR on YouTube. So we are in the Pimax Crystal Ultrawide as well, at full native resolution, and look where we are. Just look at this. This is Milford Sounds. And we're going to take it for a bit of a spin around here. Got to be careful because these mountains are incredibly intimidating. And we're going to take a flight over to Quinton Lodge, which is a dirt strip, which will hopefully showcase some of the unique features of this bird. So as I said before, I know it sounds a bit like a cliche saying this, but this is a living and breathing model. It makes you think differently about flying and using this aircraft, because this, make no mistake, will be something you'll be flying not for a couple of months and you'll move on. You'll probably be flying this exclusively for years. You know, people will just buy this and fly this aircraft everywhere and not bother with anything else, because be warned, once you've tried an A2A product, pretty much every other general aviation aircraft that you can buy for this sim feels very lackluster, apart from, I must say, Black Square. They have now stepped up to the plate, and I do feel, I think it's fair to say this, that Black Square was probably heavily influenced by A2A, because they are the pioneers in this field, and their Accu-Sim software, technology even really, I think it's doing it a disservice saying just some software. It's a technology that really transforms this aircraft into something that is so true to life, it's scary. And if that doesn't convince you, then how about this? A2A own an Aerostar, just like they own their Comanche. So they know all of the little finer details, because you can have the technical specifications and, you know, developers can make this aircraft based on spec sheets and things like that, and maybe a sort of demo flight. But what is it like when you live with this aircraft every day? What are those little details, those hidden characteristics that they'll be able to pour into this model that you would never know unless you owned one of these in real life? which kind of makes it feel like you own this in your sim. So with that being said, folks, let's now have a look at the external modelling. I must say, overall, it's actually better than I expected, because with the previews that I've watched on YouTube, I was kind of a little bit underwhelmed by how it looked. But in VR, and let me tell you, I've got the best seat in the house right now. The Crystal Super at 50 ppd, full native resolution. Nothing is left unseen, and it does actually look very, very nice. Like, that's really sharp. I think some of, well, this livery here, that's a little bit soft just there, but that's when I'm really close up. But I think it's important to stress that if you want a really nice eye candy model, go and buy a Carenado, and I mean that in the best respect to Carenado, because I do love their birds. But this is not really so much about how it looks, even though it does look fantastic. It's about how it feels. Flight modeling, the flight physics, the systems, the engine simulation. Every time you start this bird, it will be different every time, because it's not like a script as such. When you add fuel, the fuel pressure will be a real-time thing, and it will be different depending on the temperature, the wear and tear of the aircraft, how you've looked after it. So many factors. It's just crazy, guys. And as I say, you will be seeing this a lot on the channel. And it's funny because this is hot off the heels of showcasing the Starship by Black Square, and in my opinion, I do feel Black Square are now right up there with A2A. So it's going to be interesting to see how this feels. A very different aircraft completely, but in terms of just the quality and the feeling of, the immersion, should we say. So with that being said, there is a full walk around, just like the A2A Comanche, but in this case, this is native to MSFS 2024, which means you can do it all by walking around the aircraft. But I just need to work out how to do it with this controller, because I've no idea how this works with the controller, because that's what I always use. But let's just go down here, take the chocks away. Okay, and you can even check the fuel drain, make sure there's no water in the fuel. I just need to work out how to do that, which is a little bit tricky. So it's one of those things I'm not quite sure. As much as I like walking around in VR and it feels more realistic, it's just unfortunately a little bit more clunkier because I can't get that click spot. There we go. Oh, hang on. No, it's gone again. So yeah, these things, they need to be refined. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. So you can do it. It is possible. I love the sounds. Very nice. So that's all good there. We can also check the fuel cap. Make sure there's some fuel in there. You can actually see, by the way, the simulated fuel, which I think's just amazing. Hopefully you can see that in there. Can I zoom in? No, I can't, but hopefully you can see that. If not, I'll have to take my word for it. So we'll close that again. And the animations are very nice. Say, I'm just trying this for the first time using an Xbox controller, so I will be very clunky with this. Let's take this tie down off. Okay, oh, that was easy enough. Okay, cool. I won't do the full walk around because, as I say, you won't want to see me just basically fumbling around here, but you get the idea. We'll take the right chock off. I mean, this is a brand new Aerostar. You can change that. You can have an auction one, which means that you don't know what you get. You might get a decent one, or you might get one that's a little bit, worn with loads of hours. There could be some weird sort of electrical gremlin with it, just like a real thing. When you buy a second-hand car, you don't really know what you're getting, do you? It's the same with this. Same analogy, but only in general aviation terms, which is very exciting. Let's have a look at the modelling here of the lights. Very nice. And actually, you can see there all the bug splatters and things as well. What you can do is go into the aircraft, put the battery on. Let's just do that now, actually. Let's just go into the cockpit a minute. Oh, wow. Okay, this is the first time seeing the cockpit here. And we've got the usual EFB, which hopefully we can move around. Yes, we can. Brilliant. Okay, this is another thing that has really surprised me. This looks way better than I thought it would do. This looks really nice in here in VR. Very, very nice. Oh, wow. The scale of everything. Yeah, that's fantastic visibility there. So I like that this aircraft gives you wonderful, a wonderful view. Like even here as well, you've got like a sunroof kind of thing going on here, which means it feels like a very nice canopy. It feels very airy and spacious, which I did not expect. And you won't get that, guys, in 2D mode when you're, flying this. You won't appreciate what it's really like to be inside an Aerostar unless you're in VR. And this does feel like a very nice place to be. I am tempted to do a world tour in this. And if I do, I'll absolutely share my experiences on the channel, which will be great fun. Because as we fly and rack up the miles, there'll be issues that might surface, and that feeling of paranoia will really translate very well because pilots in real life are paranoid because you just want to make sure that everything is working correctly. You don't get that with a lot of different birds in the sim, but you do in the A2A aircraft without a doubt. Right, anyway, let's put the battery on for a moment, just for a minute, and I like how their interface is integrated into the tablet. That's cool. I'm just going to put the lights on here. So, in fact, I don't need to do it that way. I'll just beacon, nav, and strobe. And do we have a strobe? Yes, we do. Just going to put them on for a minute just so I can check the lights. Oh, and landing light. Let's put them all on. See what they look like from the outside. I better be quick about this, though, because we will be draining that battery very quickly. Oh, look at that. So they're working perfectly fine. Very nice. Yeah, the modelling is beautiful. It's even reflecting off itself on the glass. That's cool. Like that a lot. Come around this side. They're working fine as well. And we've got the beacon light down there as well. Okay, that's fine. We'll just switch those off now for the time being, and the battery. Yeah, this already feels very different. Let's just open the door as well. Hopefully we can do that with the Xbox controller. Just got to find the click spot. There it is. Okay, that animation's very... Yeah, that needs improving. But again, early access. I am expecting to see some bugs. Let's now check the fuel cap on the wing, left wing. Plenty of fuel in there. Look, you can see. Oh, that's good, isn't it? That is very nice. And if we did go back to the aircraft for a minute, okay, went to the payload manager and just took all of the fuel out of the left wing, just to show you. Now, look, there's absolutely nothing in there. So you do need to do these checks, folks. It's all in real time, which I absolutely love. To be fair, we definitely don't need full tanks for this flight today. So what we'll do is we'll put in... Oh, that was too much. I'm just using the scroll wheel here as well to change this. We'll put in 30 gallons each side because, as I say, we need to be fairly light today with the kind of airfields we're taking off. And we'll just take this down a bit as well to about 30 gallons. That should be enough for today's quick flight. It'll be a stunning one as well. Just look at those mountains, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, hopefully you get the idea in terms of the walk around. It is all interactive, literally by walking around, and it's one of those things, it's a bit of a necessary evil. I actually prefer walking around, especially in VR, because you get the scale of the aircraft in front of you. You feel like you're actually walking around it, but it can be a little bit clunky. But that's more of an Asobo thing than anything else. So let's have a look at the detail here. Wow, I can't get any closer than that, but I can see all the labels. That is a very detailed landing gear. You can see everything there. The brake caliper, the tyres which you can change, and the tyres will be simulated in themselves. That's the thing with this aircraft. It's a simulation. Oops. Hang on a minute, I got stuck. Have I done that? Oh dear. I've kind of got stuck, folks. Oh well. It's a simulation inside a simulation. And actually, I did this on purpose because now I can look at all of the cabling there. You can see it all within the gear well. And all the sort of detail of the nuts and bolts. Even the suspension there, the linkages. Very, very, very realistic. But I have just now somehow morphed into... Let me just get back into the cockpit again and back out again. There we go. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But and if we look inside the engine as well, I can't quite... I'm going to have to do a proper walk around. Yeah, I can't quite see, but I can see the modelling there as well. So overall, I'm actually more surprised than I thought with the modelling. I do feel the external textures could do with just a bit higher resolution. But you know what? They're not bad by any stretch of the imagination. They're okay. And I think I would appreciate more the performance than, you know, crazy 8K textures or whatever. I think this is still okay. But hopefully in the future they'll be able to sort of give it a bit more of a revamp. I think the best way I can describe this is it looks like an MSFS 2020 model, not a 2024. Anyway, let's get back into the cockpit now. So, of course, with A2A, you have a full maintenance section, so you can inspect all aspects of the aircraft. The engine, make sure you've got the right compression for those cylinders. Make sure everything's all good. Make sure the oil grade, you change your oil, change the spark plugs. You can overhaul. Say you've got a used option here in case you just want to sort of try your luck buying a used Aerostar. For today's video, we'll go new because it's my first time using it. Of course, this is A2A's first twin as well, which is very exciting because in the past we've been used to single engine props like the Comanche and the is it 172 they did? I can't remember. And the Piper as well. So many beautiful aircraft, and I hope they can come to the sim at some point as well. We've got an engine analyzer here as well. I look forward to seeing all that in action. And yeah, the airframe, we can inspect that, make sure that's all good. The tyre, gear, flap, ailerons, landing lights, hydraulic fluid. All of these things can go wrong, folks. The spark plugs, they will behave differently. Massive style spark plugs. They will probably foul a lot more than fine wire, so make sure that you definitely lean on the ground. Your oil will also have an impact on the performance, the oil level. And in fact, I didn't check the oil level. Let's just quickly do that now. Wow, guys, just look at this. You see there how the sun's just dipping below the mountains there, and you can see the shadow going across. I love that. Very nice. Right, let's just check the left engine oil here. So we'll open this up. Can we get to the cap though? That's a bit awkward. No, I can't get to it. See, oh, there we go. I've just got a click spot for it there. See, this is very, very finicky. So I would prefer an option to do it like the A2A Comanche, where, you know, you get like, there we go, I've got it. You've got like fixed positions. Right, so I can see there the oil is absolutely fine, which we know anyway, but I thought I'd just show you that. But it is a little bit awkward, it must be said. Oh, now I've undone it again now, look, you see. Right, go back in there. Thank you. And now we need to shut the cap. Oh, okay, that will do. One other thing I really like before we start the engine is I like how you have to enter the plane by clicking on the stairs there, rather than just, you know, sort of opening the door and then automatically being basically flung out the aircraft. So that's cool. But anyway, enough messing around, folks. It's time now to see if I can start this up for the first time. Because, yeah, who knows? You don't know with this bird. Every flight's going to be different. I just love that. Absolutely love that. Right. I don't want to leave the plane, so do we just click on this? Right, let's just close the door. That animation is rough as hell. That needs changing. And yeah, our frame rate is sort of varying at the moment between 45, which is my max, and then going down to about 35. I think it's depending on which way I'm looking, because those mountains are absolutely spectacular. So I really love how you can move this around, and there will be plenty of options here. For example, if we go to the advanced options, we've got wear rate, failure rate. I've all set that to normal. Turbulent strength, and we can change to realistic steering. Yes, please. Metric temperature, cockpit persistence. That means that it will remember the way you left it. So if you landed really quickly because you had tea and you had to walk the dog and you forgot to switch the battery off, then it'll be flat when you go back to it. I like how you've got sort of like an autopilot system here, just to make things a bit easier for you when you're busy. Invisible passengers, yeah, we'll have those. Gyro sound, gyro drift, all of the good stuff you can imagine. I like how you've also got the 8.33 kilohertz COM option as well. That is very useful, especially with say intentions, which I do have running today, by the way, as always, really. So the checklist will be here. So we have done. Our pre-flight has been complete. Passengers briefed, seatbelts are secure, cabin doors are now locked, battery ignitions are off, gear switch is in the down position. Yeah, flaps are up, brakes, test for firm. I presume they are. That's why I need force feedback rudder pedals. Moser, you listening? Flight controls free. Yeah, they feel free. Feeling really good. A parking brake is set there. We've got switches are all off now. Battery on. Okay, nice sound there. Elevator and rudder to the neutral position, which they are. Hydraulic shut off open. Okay, I'm not quite sure where that is. So I'm guessing it is in the open. Oh, I see there. Look, there we go. That's the thing. Do we have VR zoom spots? Yes, we do. Of course, it's A2A. Shouldn't expect any different, but yeah, zoom spots all work perfectly fine. Circuit breakers, well, actually, they're not modelled at the moment. I know, right? Shock horror. This is an A2A bird with no circuit breakers. That's because it's early access, okay? They're working on it as we watch this video together, okay? So don't worry. Altimeter and clock set. Right, well, we'll get that anyway when we talk to ATC. Engine start. Oh my god, right, here we go then. So prop fully forward. Mixture idle cut off. Throttle cracked. I have heard of some people having an issue starting with the mixture fully cut off. Whether that's a bug or not. But we'll give it a go ourselves. Fuel selectors to the on position on both engines. This is so exciting. I don't currently know the levels of the sound, so if this particular engine start is quiet, don't worry, because I'm also going to do the left engine, and that will be all mixed correctly at that point. But at the moment, I don't actually know what my levels are like. So this will either be way too loud or way too quiet. But don't worry, I'll fix it straight away afterwards. Here we go then. Oh, wow. Okay, hang on, prop should be fully forward there. Here we go. So mags, right, left, both. Engine start. Introduce fuel. Oh, we've got a... Yes! That feeling I've just felt there will be exactly the same in the real aircraft. Thinking, will she start? And it's just a rewarding feeling knowing that she started and I did it right. You won't get that with many other aircraft. Trust me, you just won't. There's very few out there, and that's what you're paying for. Make sure the starter is off. I'm just going to check the levels. I'll be back in a second. Right, so interestingly, I think the sounds, while they're okay, They haven't blown me away. I think they sound a little bit flat, like they need a bit more oomph, you know. It might just be that they need remixing. I do feel the aircraft sounds better inside than out, and I remember that being the case with the Comanche as well. But again, early access. Now another thing that I really do moan about, and that is headphone simulation. A lot of third-party aircraft do not simulate this, and it's so important. You don't want those engines blaring at you when you're going to be flying this for hundreds of hours. Thankfully, this is A2A, so you do have headphone simulation. You can click it here. Oh, that's so much nicer. Just the lack of wind noise as well. Very, very cool. Right then, so make sure that's, yes, I think it is locked there. So cabin doors are locked and secure. Put a nav light on. We'll put our, I don't think we have a taxi light, do we? So we'll put our left landing light on. Pitot heat, shouldn't need that today. Cabin heat will be fine. Well, I say that, let's find out, because this is simulated as well. Currently we have do you know what, I hate Fahrenheit, because you can change everything here. Metric temperature, I'm a Celsius guy, folks. So okay, it's 15 Celsius outside, and inside the aircraft it is 15 Celsius, so I think we're fine at the moment. But you've got to be careful, because the climate inside the aircraft is also modelled. Right, okay, we're now nice and warm, so that's all good. In fact, we can update that, our fuel payload, with this button here, update digital engine monitor. Now this in itself is a simulation inside a simulation, and you'll find that a lot with this bird. Like all of the aircraft instruments, the tyre simulation, the way the wing produces lift, are all doing their own thing. It's a simulation inside of the flight sim. And I must say, I think in terms of the performance, things are feeling pretty good. But remember, I am running a beastly 5090 system with a 9800 X3D processor. Aerostar 12 Lima Golf, radio check.
Aerostar 2 Lima Golf, ramp control, loud and clear.
Listen to that! Oh wow! I forgot to tell you, of course, we are in New Zealand, and listen to the accent. That's great. That's brilliant. I love that. Again, immersion level off the scale. So at the moment, I don't think we actually have a tower frequency for this. So I'm just going to maybe just let the ramp know. Aerostar 12 Lima Golf is taxiing to the active runway Milford Sounds. We're nice and warm now, so everything is all good there. And I think we'll taxi over in that direction there and see how she feels on the ground. Oh, okay, we're rolling straight away here. And it says realistic flight behaviour, so I'm guessing you have to use your toe brakes, unless I've missed something. There may be an option to engage the nose wheel, but we'll do it like this for now. Beautiful visuals. I think, you know, it's interesting because this aircraft looks better in person than it does on YouTube. It's a strange thing to say, but it actually looks better, especially in VR anyway. I've often found that with like motorcycles. At the moment I'm looking at, I'm very tempted to buy the new BMW RT motorcycle, and in pictures it doesn't look that great, but I saw one in the flesh today and I just fell in love with it, and I am a little bit tempted, but I'm probably best not really, because we might be moving house now, and if that's the case, that means that I'll be able to keep my motion rig. Anyway, let's just I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong here. Realistic steering. Let's just check if I've missed something in the notes. Is it just basically using toe brakes? Yeah, wheels, that's fine. Before takeoff, we've already done that. So I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong there. Let me just try again. I've got full right brake. It's not wanting to steer right. So I'll tell you what, for now, because that's user error, folks, that's just me getting used to this aircraft, I'll just do it like this for now. until I understand what I'm doing wrong there. So the flaps is also, surprise, surprise, a simulation inside a flight sim. You know, inside the aircraft. It's all very well modelled, guys, and this is a very interesting system. You hold it down, and it's like, it's not incremental. It's basically granular, where you can set the flaps to any degree you want, which is very novel. Another unique design touch. Right, anyway, so landing light on, strobe on, fuel pumps are on, mixture fully rich. Let's just quickly check as well that we're all good before takeoff. Radio set, trim set, pitot heat as desired, we're fine. Parking brake release, throttle fully forward. And after takeoff, wheels, brake, then gear up, flaps up. Are we ready, folks? Let's do this. Our first takeoff in the brand new A2A Accu-Sim 600. She sounds nice. She sounds very nice. Thought I'd get a bit of a kickback there with the motion rig, but didn't. I know why that might be the case in a minute. I'll tell you in a minute. Oh, she's got some power. Very nice. Brakes, gear up, and flaps coming up. So I'm not sure my motion rig is actually going to be behaving correctly, and that is because, wow, look at the visuals here. This is like Norway. The Accu-Sim technology means that the flight modelling for the Aerostar will be outside of the sim. They won't be using the flight modelling that you normally would expect. You know, the Asobo built-in native flight modelling, because it's just not good enough for A2A, which is I completely fully respect. So they've gone as far as to basically use their own Accu-Sim technology to produce their own flight modelling and then interject it into the sim. What that means is my motion rig is not getting the normal telemetry that it would get from other aircraft. So if it's not moving much, or if it's not, you know, performing that great, that's the reason. We're already up to 180 knots already, though. Things do happen fast with this bird. So let's just landing light off now. Fuel pumps can come off. And we'll just do our after takeoff checklist. We've done that already. Climb, maximum climb 120 knots. Fuel pumps off. Reduce power. Trim. So yeah, I'm falling in love with this. There's absolutely no doubt. And I kind of knew I would do in a way. This is A2A. Whenever a new A2A aircraft gets released, it is a massive moment. It really is. It's a huge deal. I'm not quite sure what this does here, auto trim. I'll have to read up on the manual, and of course we can test the annunciator panel there. All looking good. Auxiliary hydraulic system. Should that be on or off? I'm not quite sure, but I don't remember seeing it in the checklist. Right, anyway, let's now contact New Zealand approach. Aerostar 12 Lima Golf, request flight following to Quinton Lodge.
12 Lima Golf, squawk 3363 and ident.
Roger that. It will do that for me because I've got that set as automatic and set intentions. Look at the scenery. Look at the views. Yeah, those sounds are suspiciously like the Comanche. In the cockpit they do sound different though. She flies so nice, very, very fluid as you would expect. Very fluid. One massive advantage of the Aerostar is the view you get. Like, this is, with this deep window that goes very low, I can see right down to the ground. Like, gives me a sense of height massively here in VR. I love how you've got windows on the roof as well. It gives you a sort of almost fighter pilot kind of canopy, especially with the way it looks as well. It gives you a great visibility, which is a huge plus for touring and sightseeing, which I love to do in the sim more than anything else. Wow, we're getting great frame rate now. We're getting locked 45 frames per second, not even budging. With the Crystal Super Ultrawide, this is a incredible experience, there's no doubt about it. I've said it many times now, but the Crystal Super Ultrawide, the aspheric lenses are so good. I think if I had to pick, I would probably go for the standard module rather than the ultra-wide, just because it's a little bit nicer on your eyes. But that's, you know, after a long session, and I hope that they can refine it anyway. I'm sure they will, but I must admit I do prefer the better overlap of the 50 ppd model. But I mean, really thinking about it, it might not even be the overlap that's the problem, because generally speaking I don't suffer too badly with a bad binocular overlap. It might be something else that's going on with the ultra wide, that over a long session you start to feel a little bit like, ooh, a bit uncomfortable. But doing this kind of thing, you know, sightseeing for an hour or so, yeah, it's totally fine. Right, let's just try a stall, just quickly. We'll get away from these mountains for a moment. But yeah, she feels absolutely solid. You know, it's funny because I don't really like early access anything, because what that tends to mean is it's an absolute mess. You know, bug ridden, frustrating, you'll get crashes, you'll get issues. But again, this is A2A and they are a cut above most developers, and this doesn't actually feel early access, if I'm honest. I think the only thing I'd like to see, you know, is just, well, those little touches like the circuit breakers modelled, maybe tweaked engine sounds, maybe better textures. I'm sure there's a few bugs here and there, but they really are. If you wanted to jump in now, this is totally fine. I think this is more than what I expected from an early access. This doesn't really feel like early access, if that makes sense. Anyway, right, let's just see what the rudder authority is like. Now we're getting a bit low. Yeah, as expected, decent amount of rudder, and we've got adverse yaw as well, look. That's something you don't get in many birds. Very nice. Right, let's just pull up a bit here. Feeling the forces on the force feedback yoke. Bit scared doing this in the motion rig, but let's see what happens. Oh wow, feel the... Oh, we're going to drop a wing. We're going to drop a wing. That... Oh god, there's just something that you can't even put into words about that with an A2A aircraft. That felt so fluid. I'll do this again, look. Just really tune in to what the aircraft is doing and how you can tell it's not so much a lookup table. I mean, obviously it probably still uses that to a certain degree, but look at look how it goes into that, and I can really finesse that stall. And with the force feedback yoke as well, I can just really know what the aircraft is telling me. Right, just relieve the trim forces again now. But that was absolutely beautiful. I'm looking forward to seeing a few more sort of Accu-Sim elements as well, like the shaking of the needles and just the general those polishing little touches that make it feel even more like you know, a living, breathing aircraft. But as I say, already I absolutely love this thing. We have been spoilt rotten with general aviation aircraft this past couple of weeks. We've got the Starship, which is a phenomenal achievement by Black Square. Now we've got the A2A Aerostar. I do believe Carinado released, was it the Centurion? I can't remember, the other day as well. We've got a couple of biz jets on short finals as well. I really do feel that MSFS 2024 is finally starting to show its stuff. And unfortunately, guys, this is only available for MSFS 2024 because they've worked from the ground up in this sim. And in some ways, I think that's quite a brave move, but a gutsy move from A2A, because there's only so much development they can support. You know, supporting 2 different flight sims, especially with Asobo being very much a moving target, with all these updates, means things get broken. And an aircraft like this pushes the boundaries of what's possible in Microsoft Flight Simulator, because it's a lot of the systems and technology is being utilized outside of the sim. It needs to be that way in order to be the quality and have that flight modeling that A2A are known for. That is a bit pretty, isn't it? I think for my first flight in the Aerostar, this is the perfect place. Right, we're just going to head back to Milford Sounds and then track south and head to Quinton Lodge, which I believe is a sort of small dirt strip which this aircraft can get into. Be interesting to see how that plays out. My first landing, I'm not you know, doing myself any favours here, chucking myself into the deep end. But yeah, looking around here, I really like the cockpit. It's very, very nice. Got these sunshades here, which, oh, look at that. They're infinitely adjustable as well. That's a very A2A thing. Not just like you click on it and it goes over there, then you click on it again and it kind of, you can't move it again, and it's very awkward. That's just super easy to use. I appreciate that. Very much so. Let's just have a quick look again at the tablet. We'll just put some passengers in as well. Just quickly, that will affect the weights, but just see what they look like. No, there's no one there. Maybe that's a... I'm pretty sure that I added that as an option. Where is it? Here. Visible passengers. Well, I don't see them. Maybe that's something that might be added later, or maybe it's something that won't be added unless you're on the ground. Oh, look at that for a view. Holy crap, that's very, very pretty. Bite the back of your hand, gorgeous. Oh, yes. My God. This hobby continues to blow me away, and I've just realised I need to back the mixture off a little bit there. Let's put the yoke back on again. Oh, I realise. Oh, that's clever. It's because this is in the way. Look. So if I move this over there. Oh, that's good. That's, you know, it's those little design touches. And you can move this around very easily. Very cool. Do we have a prop sync on this? I don't think so. Right, so we're only 3 minutes away from Quinton Lodge, and it's going to be a bit of a mental approach into this airstrip. So let's have a quick look at the back here. This is actually a very large aircraft. 246, so 6 passengers, co-pilot and pilot. In the back here, the textures look okay. They're not like, not going to blow you away, but they're okay. You can see the stitching there of the seats. Don't think these move. They could do with a bit of a rework at some point, but actually this reminds me of another aircraft, the Blackbird Simulation Cessna 310. It's kind of one of those aircraft that you're just gonna love flying, and every flight's gonna feel different. I think, you know, I actually remember doing this one on a community flight a few years ago, and I think this particular airfield is a bit stupidly mental. So let's just keep this height for now, because I don't really want to go into that valley when I'm not quite ready yet. I don't know what I'm going to be facing. I presume it's in this valley here, so let's just have a look. Wow, this headset looks so freaking good, and the colours are gorgeous. I've just updated the firmware, by the way, and kudos to Pimax once again. Their Pimax Play software is getting better and better all the time. I no longer feel nervous when I update the firmware on this thing. It just tends to work every single time. We do need an escape route here though. So, just looking around here, making sure we know what we're doing. Right, I reckon, yes, I think it's in there, in that little valley. Oh God, can we get in there? I'm not sure, guys. What do you think? Do you think we can do that? I know you want me to. I can hear you shouting your head off going, go on, Steve, try it. What's the worst that can happen? Right. I'm not sure this is a good idea, folks, but we're going to try it. So, prop fully forward, mixture fully rich. Actually, with the prop fully forward, that will help a little bit with the drag. Fuel pumps on. Landing lights on. And we're getting a massive updraft, which is not very helpful. Because I need to try and turn in this valley here. We're in the flap range, so I'm banging the flaps down as much as I possibly can. 20 degrees. In fact, we're a little bit over the flap limit, but... And the gear coming down. Oh no, we're going to have to... We're still far too high here. Can we side slip? That's another good test of the A2A magic. Side slipping, and yeah, straight away. Look at... We're losing so much height right now. That is fantastic. Right, full flaps. Just look at this. Look at that. Wow. Side slipping. So much there. And actually, we have lost so much height. That's what I'm talking about right there. That showcases the flight modelling. And all those little things, like I say, the texture modelling on the external view, you're not really going to care about that anymore because of the flight modelling. It really is an alive aircraft to fly. And I hope I don't wreck it now with this stupid approach. My first ever landing in the Aerostar, and I've decided to come here. What an idiot. I don't even know if we're... Oh, that's... Right, anyway, we're committed. There's nothing else we can do here now. We're committed. Here we go. Oh my God. Oh! That was... We did it! Actually did it! And I was actually really surprised. I thought I was going to really give it some and have a bit of a bouncy landing, but that was... If I don't say so myself, guys, that was an amazing landing. And I don't mean to sound arrogant there, but I'm actually quite impressed. And that is down to the fluid feeling of that flight model. Absolutely. Welcome to Quinton Lodge. What a flight. What a way to get to know the Aerostar. Let me just... I'll just bang it here, that's fine, that will do. That will do nicely. I can almost feel it rattling there. So there we are, folks. I hope you enjoyed that first look in VR using the Crystal Super Ultrawide. Checking out the Accu-Sim Aerostar 600. It's in early access. You can go grab it now. Link in the description below. Let's just... I love that feature. How you literally have to walk out. And what can I say, folks? This is the easiest aircraft I can recommend all day. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not a review or anything. This is just my first look. It is in early access. Go check it out. I give it my absolute highest recommendation even now. Right, I think I'm just going to go and enjoy this scenery for a bit. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Insane visuals. Take care. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye for now. Achingly beautiful. What a place. What an aircraft.